Hello Nowans, in this video we're going to see how we can connect our GitHub account to our Nowa app using a simple one-click integration and then see what we can do with GitHub inside Nowa. So let's start. First of all, we need to go to settings and then inside settings we choose get and then go to press on connect GitHub button. This will open a new window on your browser where you can choose the user that you want to authorize the integration on. In our case, I'm gonna select my personal account and press on continue. Then it will ask you which profile inside that user you want to integrate. You can choose a personal profile or any organization you are part of. So I'm gonna choose my personal profile. And then inside this part, we have two options, which we can also later change and modify. However, the two options are all repositories, which will add all repos inside your account and grant access to all of them, or only some select repos. If we choose the only select repositories, we can choose from the list of available repos. So for example, I can add the to-do app and even add more than one. So for example, some project. If I press on install and authorize with only those two available, it will only authorize and have access for only those two. However, for the simplicity of this tutorial, I'm gonna choose all repositories and install and authorize. Next, it will ask for an authorization code. Now that I got the access code, I'm gonna press on verify and done. GitHub authorization completed. You can close this window now. So let's close this window or tab and get back to Nowa. Now, as you can see, it says GitHub integrations with our account connected. Here it says 6 repos connected because that's the amount of repos we have on our account. So let's close this and now let's see what we can do with this integration. Now, first thing, we can go to new cloud project to create a new project and we can actually now clone Nowa or Flutter projects from GitHub directly by either selecting a existing repo such as the to-do app, or if we close this, pasting the URL of a repo that is already there, and then all we have to do is only press clone. Once the clone is complete, we have our project inside Nowa app ready to run. As you can see, it is fully functional. New task, and our task is there. Now, suppose we want to make some changes and then push those changes onto this project. So I'm gonna ask the AI to do a simple UI redesign and press enter. Let's give it some time. Okay, now that the AI has redesigned our application slightly, we want to push those changes into GitHub because we don't only want these changes saved inside our app, but we also want the version of GitHub to be updated. So in order to do that, let's go all the way to Git tab in the left toolbar. So let's press on it. As you can see, here we can see all the changes that we have made recently, such as changes to the home page, changes to the to-do style, which is this style over here, and the thumbnail. Now, these changes can be, and this is one of the powerful things with Git, you can discard these changes and return to the normal state. So if you press on discard, for example, over here, the changes will be reverted. In this way, even if the AI or you change something and you don't want the change anymore, or the AI messed something up, you can discard those changes and get back to your original state. However, in our case, we want those changes, so we're gonna do something called a commit. What a commit does is basically save those changes as permanent changes in your commit history. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a message. So let's say redesign the UI, and then we're gonna say commit all. Now, before we commit, we need to set an identity so that once we commit and push our changes to the GitHub, we can know who made what changes. So I'm gonna write my name here and put on my email, which you can send me an email on if you ever need help or support. So I'm gonna click on set identity. Now the commit is saved. As you can see, the recent changes all disappeared. They didn't actually disappear. However, you can see the commit here inside the commit history with the files that have changes and how many lines of code are changed, where you can actually view the changes yourself. We will be looking more into commit history in further videos. However, we want to push the changes now. So let's press on sync, and by this way, we're syncing the version of our app on GitHub with the local version inside Nowa. And if we go back to GitHub, go to our to-do app, we can see here that some changes with our commit message redesigned the UI appeared. Now let's get back to Nowa and see how we can create a new app from scratch and then create a new repo on GitHub. So I'm gonna go to a local project. Let's try also Git on local, which is a new feature. New local project. Let's give it a name. Let's call it Git test and create. This will create a normal project with a local repository, which is not on GitHub yet. So we're gonna do some things on the app and then publish it to GitHub. It's simple. So let's ask it to do a simple counter app and press enter. It's gonna do a simple counter app. Let's wait until it's done and be back. Okay, now that it has created our simple counter app that we can see here, let's push it to GitHub. So first step would be to go to the left tab and press on Git and then commit our changes. So we're gonna say first commit and press on commit all. This has committed everything successfully. Then, as we can see, this time it didn't say sync. It told us to publish a branch. Pressing on it will allow us to create a new repo or add our app into an existing empty repo. However, we don't have an existing empty repo here. So we're gonna press on create repo, which will create a new repository for us on our GitHub account and link them. After that, we can simply click on sync, and once it's done syncing, we can go to GitHub to see our new repo. So if we go to GitHub, press on repos, we can see there are 7 repos, and over here we have our get test repo with all of our code. Now let's get back to Nowa and see what we can do more. So far we have seen how we can create a repo, how we can push changes to a repo, and how we can publish and integrate our GitHub. This is it for today. See you in the next